In this section, we'll talk about how to generate 2D drawings from a 3D part. So we have a 3D part here, which is composed of a flange element at the bottom, and at the top we have a cylinder with a blind hole. It's a threaded blind hole, and we want to generate the 2D drawings from it. So in this, the same drawing, but at the bottom, we have two extra tabs here. We have the model tab and we have some layout tabs, which are also called paper space. Once we click on one of these, we get to this view and we can select this window here like that, and we can delete it. And this white background here, this rectangular white shape, is our paper. If we right click on the layout here, we have different options. For example, we can choose our standard drafting setup, where we signal what projection system we are working with. This will be the first angle projection system. Then we can choose how we draw our threads. This is the way we draw our threads, and this option here as well for the threads. Also, we can choose the quality of the drawing, and we can click OK to finish setting up the page, the drafting setup. We can right click again and go to our page setup manager, where we can modify the current page, and we can choose from here, for example, what type of printing settings we want. So we'll set up this for high quality AutoCAD PDF, and we'll choose the paper size from here, and this will be ISO, full bleed, and A3 for 20 times 297. Select that. We'll select our scale here to be 1:1, and we'll make sure this is in a layout, and we'll click OK. And notice that the page has slightly changed its dimensions, and if we want to, we can create the border for our page. So I'll give the rectangle command 10,10, and then the add symbol 400,277, and since I am the layers are also working, I am on a different layer here. I can switch between my layers as well, so that I can change the line types and everything. Give the line command 20,0, and then since I have my ortho on, I can give it 297, and I have my A3 standard sheet size here. And to be able to generate a 2D drawing, I have to go to this tab here, which is the layout tab. And what do I want to do is create a front view, which will be a section view, a top view, which will be a plane view, and a side view, which will be a plane view as well. But in order to create the section view in the front, I have to first create the top view so that I can place the section plane, the section trace, so that it gets generated. So first, I will select the base here, which will be the base view. It asks me the source of where is my object, and I'll say it's in the model space. And I got my object here. All I have to do now is place it somewhere and it will get projected. But instead of just simply placing it somewhere, I also want to change the orientation. So I'll right click and I have here my orientation option, and from the command line here I can select what view I want to project from, so from the top, for example. And I have my flange here visible. Now what I want to do is right click again and select the scale. I want a scale of 1. And once I click, this will get fixed. I can tap enter on the keyboard and it expects me to choose another view, but I won't, just the one view here. And this is my starting view, the top view. I have my flange, which is projected for me. And now I want, based on my front view, I want to generate my section view, which will be in the front. So I'll go here, not to the base, but to the section, and select the full section. And it wants me to select the object that I want to section, and I'll say this is my object. And now it wants me to pick 2 points so that I can define the trace on which to cut. So I'll type in quad for quadrant and snap to this part, and quad again and snap to the other part. And as you can see, now I have control over the placement of the projection that results from sectioning the part as described by the trace here. So I can place it somewhere and click and tap enter on the keyboard. And this is my front view, a section through the flange here. As you can see, the trace goes through the holes, and you can see the bolt holes here, and goes through the cylinder which had a threaded hole, and you can see the hole here with the thread and then without, and then the drill mark here at the bottom. And this black pattern is the hatch pattern, and here we have a note saying this is a section view and it's at a scale of 1:1. If I want to also draw a side view, in this case it's not really necessary, but if I wanted to draw that side view, I can go here and select the projection So this option, so I found where to click so I can project it, and now it's waiting for me to place it somewhere, and it keeps the alignment so they are in the same position, aligned. And then I'll click to hold that in place and tap enter, and this is like a side view of this without the section. And now these are the three projections, and they are my starting point. So my starting point for drawing, for getting the drawing done, because as you can see, this was projected as seen, so as it was seen by the computer, and I don't want that to be like with the teeth. I want it to be as per the standard. And also this hatch pattern is not quite the way I want it. So for the hatch pattern, I may choose to change it from here to a scale of 35, for example. And as you can see, this is better. You can see it better. It lacks the axis lines, although, and some other features, like for example the 3/4 circle here. So to be able to work at this better, I will export the layout. So I'll use the export layout command, and it asks me to open it. And now this is in a model space, and it will allow me to work with all of the lines. So for example, this is now one object, but if I explode it, it will become individual lines. So for example, I can delete these lines here because I don't need them. I can create the thread. This is the thread crest, and this is the root. I can also delete these lines which don't interest me because they are not part of the drawing. And here as well. And I can also extend this line to be like the exit line here. Like that. And now I have my conventional way of drawing the thread. And I can delete this text here. I don't no longer need. Now, if I give the X line command and go here like that, I want to see which of these circles is the circle that needs to be 3/4. So this one. So again, this is one object. I have to explode it. And now I'll use the break command. So this circle is not really a full circle, so that is why it kept giving errors. So I'll create the circle again. Let's see, break this time. And the break feature seems to be working now. Okay, so I won't be needing this anymore, the X line. And for this drawing especially, I don't really need this side view. I can only just work with these two views. So I need to create some layers. I have these layers have been generated for me during the 2D generation process, but I can create some more. So for example, the thick line layer, I can choose the proper thickness. And once I do that, I can select the lines that need to be on that specific layer. So this geometry got generated for me based on the 3D object that I had before. And now I'll just place it on the thick lines layer and also LWD and on to show the line width. And I also need to make sure these, even though they are with the thick line, we want to make sure they are on the proper layer, so not on visible. I want them to be on thick. Okay, so the things that are missing from here are the axis lines. I can extend this to the quadrant there, and then another 3 millimeters towards the bottom. Similarly, I can draw a line here. Seems like this was the center, the trace line. So I'll draw a simple line this time from the quadrant here to the quadrant here. And I can extend this with a few millimeters, 3 for now. And 3 on this side. And I can create a necessary layer. I need an axis layer, like I would do when drawing a 2D object from the beginning. And the advantage is that I have most of the geometry already generated for me. I just have to create some minor changes to check and to repair any damage. LT scale 10. And as you can see, this is starting to look much better with the axis line. I will try to do the axis lines here as well. So let's see how how much is this diameter here. This doesn't have the dimensions styled yet, so it has a diameter of 10. So if I offset this by 5, I can get the axis line here and here. So extend this by 3 towards the top, 3 towards the bottom, this as well. And change them to the proper layer. So these need to be on the axis layer. And I'm missing the hatch pattern, so I'll have to create a layer for the hatch pattern. I'll give the hatch command, and I need it to be here, here. Make sure I also put it here and here, and tap enter to finish. Select the pattern, and then I have to make sure it's ANSI 31, and I'll put the scale to be 35, like that. And it's looking a lot better now. Also, I have to place axis lines for these circles. So I'll place one axis layer. Also, I need to have my bolt hole circle here. So circle, enter, from the center to this center, and select this and send it to the axis layer. And now I don't need this vertical axis anymore, nor this horizontal, because I have 2 of them already, and I don't need these horizontal ones actually. Now what I would like to do is also dimension and style the dimensions. So dim style and modify, and we'll start from the lines tab here, and we need the we need this value extend beyond dimension line to be 1. Then we'll go to symbols and arrows. We want the arrow size to be 3, and the mark wanted to be 3. Then to the text tab, want the text tab, the text height to be 3.5, want it to be above. We want this offset to be 1 as well, and we want this to be aligned with the dimension line. From the fit tab, we want to select both text and arrows, and we want to check both of these options here. And from the primary units, we can either choose to change the precision here, or we can check this trailing zeros option, so it shows the precision only when necessary. So click OK and close, and it looks like our diameter here is looking okay. And we can double click on this and specify that there are 4 holes like that. We can also create a special layer for that, for the dimensions. Okay. And we can move this to the dimension layer. Okay. Dim DIA to dimension this diameter here. We can also dimension the inside diameter there, the bolt hole diameter. And here we can dimension with the DIM LIN. Want to dimension this, and we want to add some text here, the metric symbol, because this is a thread, and we'll repeat the DIM LIN command, linear dimensioning, dimension the outer cylinder. So this is also a diameter, so %% and C for the diameter symbol. And I can also dimension the whole flange here to be 70, like that. And I have most of my dimensions placed. I have some more linear dimensions to place here. For example, this thickness here, and also this height, and the length of the thread until the exit. So place that. And I have here my starting point, which was to model the 3D, and I have everything dimensioned. Looks like I have some dimensions here for the length of the hole that I may want to also dimension. So here I can dimension this from here to here. Now I can fit this into a like a proper page. This was a like A3, but it looks like my flange here can fit into an A4. So I can delete this and keep only the flange and the drawing, and I may want to delete this dimension and place it here. So DIM DIA, place it here, double click 4 times 10. And I may also place the trace and the section title here. So to do that, I will extend this line by 20, and here and I will place some segments here. So line from here go towards there for 10 millimeters, and then from here go towards there 10 millimeters, and select this and hold shift and deselect that and move that to the thick lines layer. So we have a thick line there and there, and now we can use so I'll just give the leader command and click here and hit enter a few times, and then I will rotate this rotate this from this position to that, and then move this to the middle here. Okay, this is too high, so let's give it a value of 3. Another 2. Okay, and now mtext, click here, H and 7, and click again, and this will be A. Place it next to the arrow here, like so. And now we can select this without the axis and copy it, or we can select it and mirror it. Let's see. Mirror it based on this axis from here to here. And we have our trace, and we can copy one of the A's here, and we can place it on top here. Can drag it on top here and double click it and place a dash in another A. So now we have both the trace and the trace label and the section label. I will have to also draw the axis line here in the middle, from here to here as well, and extend it by 3, and extend it by 3 here as well, and make sure it's on the proper layer. Now let's move this a bit closer to this one. So use the move command, select this, tap enter, click somewhere, and then type in the add symbol 0,20 to have it closer, so it only moved on the y axis. Now I want to create an A4 sheet of paper. So I'll give the rectangle command 0, 0 at 210, 297, and I'll move this to the side so it doesn't get too confusing. And then I'll offset this by 5. Give the line command 20, 0 and 297 for the binding area. And now a rectangle, and add 185, 40, so as to have like a title block area. And now I'll have to place this on the thick line there. And I'll have to move this back inside. In order to move it, I'll create a line in the middle, so I have something to guide me. Line, and the middle will be from here, perpendicular to this. So I'll use this as a guide, and I'll move this. And I want to grab this by this point, it's fine. And I'll have to snap it to this axis line by giving the nearest command. I can move it up and down. I am interested that it doesn't intersect. Maybe somewhere closer to this point here. So let me try again. So move this from here near to this point here. And now it doesn't intersect. And we can delete this helping line, as I'm sure it's centered and it's aligned. Now we can delete this outer edge here, and we can use the plot command. And AutoCAD high quality is fine. ISO full bleed A4. And here we want a window that starts from 0, 0 and ends at 210, 297. And we can preview this. And this is ready to be printed. All we need to do is to make a slightly larger difference between the thick lines and the thin lines. So what I did was I came in here, let's see, and changed the layer thickness to 0.6. Let's change it to 0.7 now. Okay. And plot again. And preview. And as you can see, the difference in thickness is visible right now. And at this point, we can save the PDF by clicking on OK. And once we save, the PDF will open and will look like this.